Hello, listeners. Here is another special episode full of lateral thinking puzzles.
In lateral thinking puzzles, one person is given an unusual sounding situation and has to try to work out what's going on, asking only yes or no questions.
Sharon usually does much, much better than I do.
Not always.
Anyway, here's 4 more of them. We're away next week, but episode 70, we'll be back with that on August 24th.
Happy anniversary to my mom and dad, and enjoy the puzzles.
This is from Kyle Hendrickson's 1998 book, Mental Fitness Puzzles.
Okay.
In most states, a jury must vote unanimously in order to render a verdict of guilty. In this particular case, when the final vote was taken, one of the people in the room did not vote. However, the defendant was found guilty. How is this possible?
Is the person who didn't vote not a juror?
Yes.
The person who didn't vote was, I don't know, the judge? Or
No.
an alternate juror?
No.
Or so somebody who wasn't on the jury didn't vote. I
Right.
think I'm not understanding something here. It has to be a unanimous vote, but the person who didn't vote for it, he didn't get a vote because he wasn't on the jury.
Right.
That's not it? That is it.
That is it, but there's more.
There's more to it. Oh, okay. All right. Let's back up. Is this in the United States?
Presumably, yeah.
Does it matter where specifically?
No.
Does it matter when specifically?
No.
Okay. Does it matter what kind of a case it was?
No.
Is everybody involved a human being?
Yes.
Not animals on trial, pigs on trial or something? Okay, everybody's involved as a human being. Is it a regular court case with like a 12-person jury?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So did the jurors all vote unanimously?
Yes.
But somebody else didn't vote, and I have to figure out who this somebody else is?
Yes.
Somebody who would have deliberated with the jurors?
No.
No. Somebody who would have been present in the court during the proceedings?
Yes.
But not the judge.
But it's not the judge? No, it's not the judge.
It's not the judge. It's not the defendant.
Correct.
It's not one of the lawyers.
That's right.
It's not the plaintiff.
Right.
I'm trying to think who else. The bailiff who presides over the whole thing. Somebody else who would have been in the court, though, who would have had a reason to be in the court.
Yes.
Somebody who would standardly be in a court for these sorts of cases.
No.
No. Somebody who was in the court for this particular case but wouldn't typically be in a court.
That's right.
And he didn't get a vote.
That's right.
Whoever he was. Was he in the court because of his profession?
Yes.
He was in the court because of his profession. But his profession wouldn't normally lead him to be in the court.
Yes, that's correct.
Is he an expert witness?
No.
Would you say he had some part to play in the trial itself? Let's back up. There was a trial.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Did this person have some part to play in the trial itself?
I think I would say no to that.
Okay. But he was there. Let's assume it's a he. He was there. Is that okay to assume it's a he?
Yes, sure.
He was there acting under his occupation, like performing his occupation.
Yes.
But he wasn't a witness. Was he somehow involved in the media covering the trial?
No.
Was he like some sort of interpreter, like sign language or translating one language to another, something like that?
Yes.
Like a sign language interpreter?
Yes.
Is there more? Do I still have more to go?
There's a little bit more, but I think you've sort of got it.
So he was there. One of the jurors is deaf.
Yes, that's it. One of the jury members was deaf and required an interpreter to help him communicate. The interpreter was the one person who had no vote.
Ah, okay. This comes from Jed's list of situation puzzles.
Oh, good.
A man tries the new cologne his wife gave him for his birthday. He goes out to get some food and is killed.
Naturally. That's the whole thing?
That's the whole thing.
Okay. Wife gives her husband some cologne for his birthday.
Yes.
The cologne is cologne. By that, do you mean what I think you mean by cologne?
Yes.
And he goes out. What is he? He goes out for what reason?
He goes out to get some food.
Some food. Would he have been killed if he'd gone out for some other reason?
Possibly.
He was killed in some reason connected with the cologne.
Yes.
The cologne attracted something that killed him? No.
Ask a full question.
Did the scent of the cologne attract a living creature? One or more living creatures?
No, to that question. To the way that question is worded.
Very careful answer. All right, he goes out to get some food. Do I need to know more about what kind of food he went out to get?
Possibly.
Possibly. Was he going to a restaurant?
No.
To a store, like a grocery store?
No.
To get some food? To, like, catch a fish?
No.
All right.
To catch a fish.
Do I need to know?
You don't need to know, but...
But it might be helpful.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at how he died, shall we?
Okay.
Was he killed by a living creature?
Yes.
A human being?
No.
An animal?
Yes.
Oh, there's a pause there. A mammal? Do you know?
Yes.
One living creature?
No.
He was killed by a group of living creatures.
Yes.
Because he was wearing cologne.
Yes.
But I think I asked if they were attracted by the cologne, and I think you said no.
That is correct. That is not a correct assertion that they were attracted by the cologne.
Okay. All right. So a group of living creatures killed a man.
Yes.
Do I need to know specifically how many of them there were?
No.
Were they all of the same species, the same
Yes.
kind of creature?
Yes.
And they were, would you say, provoked in some way by the cologne?
That's closer.
Did they mistake him for a threat?
Yes.
They did, because of the scent of the cologne.
Yes.
Do I need to know what the specific scent of the cologne was?
No.
Okay, but they thought he was a threat, and that's why they killed him.
Yes.
Do I need to know where this was?
Not exactly, no.
Okay, and so was he fishing? Was he hunting?
No.
I mean, is that when you say he was out to getting food? Was he trying to capture some live animal to eat?
No.
Okay. So it was like he was wearing musk cologne, and that they mistook that for a threat, something like that?
Something like that.
There's more to it than
Something
this?
vaguely like that.
But I don't need to know the setting, like this was in the woods or a field or mountains or something?
No, I mean, I think it would mislead you to say you need to know the setting.
Okay, so he encountered some animals.
Yes.
Would it help me to narrow down what exact kind of animals they were?
Possibly. Yes. Yes.
Did I ask you if they're mammals?
They're not mammals.
Not mammals.
Not
Are they
mammals.
insects?
Yes.
Insects?
Yes.
He was attacked. Is it bees?
Yes.
He's attacked by a swarm of bees because he was wearing cologne.
Yes.
That they interpreted as a threat.
Yes.
Oh, to get food? Was it honey that he was
Yes,
after?
yes.
Is he a beekeeper?
Yes.
Okay.
You're doing really well.
So they thought the bees, I don't know much about bee psychology. The bees wouldn't have attacked him if you weren't wearing cologne.
Correct.
But because he's now today wearing cologne because his wife gave it to him.
Yes.
They think he's like a bear?
No.
Or some kind of creature that's attacking the hive?
No, that's not exactly it.
Do they think you say they mistake him for an animal?
No, I didn't say that.
Do they mistake him for an animal?
No.
They just think he's a threat,
Yes.
but not an animal, necessarily?
No, right. Not necessarily an animal.
It's just the scent that confuses them?
Yes. Yes.
Well,
yes.
I'm not sure what I'm missing here then. He's wearing cologne that confuses the bees into attacking and killing him.
Why? Why does the cologne do that?
Okay. They think he's a threat. Do they think he's related to some other colony of bees or some other
No.
specific? Do they think he's something other than a beekeeper? Specifically?
Not specifically.
So they think he's a beekeeper, but the cologne is confusing? I'm not at all clear what I'm missing.
Yeah, okay, let me just tell you. It's basically, they don't recognize his fragrance anymore. The hive doesn't recognize him.
Okay.
Apparently, they would normally recognize him. The person who added this or who submitted it to Jed for his list of situation puzzles, said that this is based on something that actually happened to his grandfather, who was a beekeeper and was severely attacked by his bees when he used a new aftershave.
Wow.
So apparently, they just learn to recognize their usual beekeeper. And then if you throw them off by wearing something that smells really different, you could get attacked by the bees.
Wow, I didn't know that really happened.
Yeah, apparently. Well, I can't vouch for it. I don't keep bees, and I don't know bee psychology either. But
no, it makes sense.
This podcast is brought to you primarily by our awesome patrons, who are the reason we can keep on making this show. If you enjoy Futility Closet and would like to help support the show, please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/futilitycloset. Thanks so much to everyone who helps support Futility Closet.
This was sent in by a listener named Saber. It's pretty simple. A vessel is sitting at anchor on a calm lake when it suddenly capsizes. What happened?
A vessel?
Yeah.
A boat?
Yes.
A full-size boat, like that people could go onto?
Yes.
On a lake?
Yes.
A big body of water?
Yes.
Does it matter which lake it is?
Not really, no.
Does it matter where the lake is in more generally?
Not really, no. No.
Does weather or climate conditions matter?
No.
Does it matter what kind of boat it is?
Not so as you'd need to pursue that to solve the puzzle.
Okay. So a boat
Yes.
is at anchor
Yes.
on a lake.
Yes.
And then it suddenly capsizes.
Yes.
By capsizes, you mean turns upside down?
Yes.
And there's no weather that caused this.
That's correct.
Did somebody do something deliberately or a group of somebody's to make this happen?
Yes.
Okay. Were they attempting to capsize the boat?
No.
They were attempting to do something else and in that endeavor accidentally capsized the boat?
That's right.
Okay. One person alone?
No.
A group of people working together?
Yes.
Working together deliberately?
No. Well, ask that again.
More than one person was involved.
Yes.
Were they working together? Okay.
Deliberately?
Deliberately working together to do whatever they were trying to do.
I wouldn't put it that way.
Okay. All right. Does the exact number of people matter?
No.
Okay. Okay, so more than one person. Do their occupations matter?
No.
Oh, well. Okay. That just cut off a whole fruitful line of questioning there. Do their ages or genders matter?
No.
Do they have any other distinguishing characteristics that would be important for me to know?
I guess not.
Okay. I don't know.
I wouldn't say so. I think that'd
Okay.
be...
Should I try to work on what they were trying to do?
Yes.
Were they trying to do something involving the boat specifically?
No.
Okay. They were trying to do something nearby the boat. They were trying to do something in an area that is near the boat.
No.
No. They were trying to do something... Were they on the lake at the time? The people.
How do you mean on the lake?
On the water?
No.
In the water?
No.
On the shores of the water?
No.
Oh, some distance off?
No.
Above the water? in a balloon or at an airplane or something?
No.
And they're not in the boat?
They are in the boat.
They are in the boat?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, so a group of people are in the boat.
Yes.
Attempting to do something.
Yes.
And in that attempt, they end up capsizing the boat.
Correct.
The boat is at anchor.
Yes.
Were they attempting to raise the anchor?
No.
Okay, were they attempting to do something illegal?
No.
What do you attempt to do while in a boat? Were they attempting to make the boat move in some way?
No.
Were they doing something involving explosives?
No.
What do you attempt to do from a boat? Does this involve the boat's motor in any way?
No.
A motor of something else?
No.
And you said it doesn't matter what kind of boat and it doesn't matter how many people, but I need to know what they were attempting to do. Is this an activity that people would typically tend to do in a boat?
I guess I wouldn't say yes. I'd say no to that.
You'd say no to that. Okay, so were they attempting to make a movie or something along those lines?
No.
Okay, because you could do all kinds of strange things in the name of making a movie.
Sure, yeah.
Were they on the boat for recreational purposes?
Yes.
Were they attempting to do something recreational?
You could say that, but I'd probably lead you down on the wrong direction.
Were there substances involved like alcohol or drugs? Were they all out of their minds? Or,
No.
No, okay.
I mean, possibly, but possibly not.
They didn't need to be in order to do this. Okay. So what do you do on a boat that's not typically done on a boat? And in doing it, you end up capsizing the boat. Did this involve that they all ended up on one side of the boat at the same time?
Yes.
To see something?
Yes.
Like a whale or
Nope.
to see wildlife
Nope.
of any kind?
Nope.
They all ended up on one side of the boat to see something.
That's right.
Another boat?
No.
To see something that was not on the boat.
That's right.
And it's not wildlife, the sunset or the sunrise.
Nope.
It's something that would be considered natural scenery?
No.
No. Something man-made?
No.
No. They all went to one side of the boat to look at something. And it's not animal, and it's not man-made, and it's not scenery. Something scary?
No.
Something attractive, like beautiful? Like, ooh, look at that.
No. I wouldn't quite put it that way, but yes. Something attractive.
People or a person?
Yes.
An attractive woman was sunbathing somewhere, and all the men rushed to one side of the boat to see her.
You're very close.
Were the people on the boat all male?
I actually don't know. I don't.
So it's
don't think so.
It's not like gender is involved here, like I said, like an attractive woman sunbathing. Okay.
I'm actually not certain about that.
But a famous person went by, or
Nope.
Does the year matter?
Not really. No.
But they all rushed to one side of the boat to see a person or group of people
Yes.
who were doing something unusual.
I'd say so. Yes.
They were on the lake too.
No.
They were in the air. They were on the shores.
Yes, they were on the shore.
They were on the shore. So there was a group of people on the shore doing something interesting.
Correct.
It's not who the people were.
That's right.
Specifically, it's what they were doing.
That's right.
Did this actually happen?
Yes.
Oh, this actually happened. Okay. So, were they watching people make a movie?
Who?
The people on the boat. Were they watching people on the shore make a movie?
No.
Were they watching... You would say what was happening was more attractive than, like, alarming or...
That's right. Yes, I would.
It's not like there was a fight or a murder or,
No.
something like
Nothing
that.
like that.
Were they dancing? I'm
Yeah.
trying to think. So there was a group of them
Yes.
doing something interesting
Yes.
on the shore.
Yes.
And did this have to be on the shore of a lake to be done?
No.
It could be done anywhere.
Yeah.
Performing some sort of tricks or stunts or
No.
some kind of skill or feat.
No. I'm trying to think of a hint.
Well, it's like people could do all sorts of things, and I have to guess what they were doing. I mean, was it that they were removing their clothing?
Yes.
Oh, I was closer with the sunbathing then.
That's
okay.
basically it.
So they saw a group of nudists or something, and they all rushed.
I'll just read. This is a story from the Associated Press from May 3rd, 2004. Austin, Texas. Partygoers apparently hoping to catch a glimpse of nude sunbathers crowded on one side of a floating barge, prompting the ship to capsize and dump all 60 people into Lake Travis. 2 people were hospitalized with minor injuries Sunday after the rented double-decker barge sank near Hippie Hollow, a lakeside park and the only public nude beach in Texas. The accident occurred during Splash Day, a semi-annual event hosted at the clothing optional area by the Austin Tavern Guild, a gay and lesbian bar association. Witnesses said that all of the people aboard the barge moved to one side as it neared Hippie Hollow, creating uneven distribution and making it tilt. It sank in 50-foot deep water. Krista Umscheid, a spokeswoman for the Lower Colorado River Authority, said that although everyone aboard was accounted for, Travis County Sheriff's divers were checking compartments of the sunken pontoon boat as a precaution. And Saber, who sent this in, says, "You'll be glad to know no one was hurt in this one. Everyone just swam ashore."
Oh, yay. Okay, no fatalities. Yay.
Yeah, so there's that. This week's episode is brought to you by our patrons and by The Great Courses, a series of engaging audio and video lectures taught by top professors and experts. They're available on DVDs and CDs or by streaming, digital downloads, or through their app, so you can have all the enjoyment of learning something new however it works best for you, at home, on your commute, or while you're working out.
One of the Great Courses' most popular courses is Fundamentals of Photography, taught by Joel Sartori, a National Geographic photographer. Almost everyone takes photos these days, but do you know how to take good photos, or even great photos? This course covers all the fundamentals of taking great photos, teaching you how to use elements such as perspective, dimension, framing, and layering to create extraordinary photos in even the most mundane situations. Whether you want to take photos of landmarks or wildlife, or just friends and family, this course is designed to help you see and think like a professional photographer so you can create truly memorable photos.
The Great Courses offers more than 500 courses on many topics, including history, science, and philosophy, as well as self-improvement subjects like cooking, music, and meditation. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary, and they have a special offer for Futility Closet listeners. For a limited time, you can order from 8 of their best-selling courses, including Fundamentals of Photography, at up to 80% off the original price. This is a limited time offer, so order today. Go to thegreatcourses.com/closet to check out this special offer for our listeners. That's thegreatcourses.com/closet, or see the link in our show notes.
This one came from listener Tommy Honton. And Tommy says, a man obtains a paid sponsorship to enter a race. He easily finishes in first place, but in doing so draws the ire of not only the other racers, but also his sponsor. What's going on?
Is this true? Did this happen?
This is true. This happened.
Okay. Can you read it again?
A man obtains a paid sponsorship to enter a race. He easily finishes in first place, but in doing so draws the ire of not only the other racers, but also his sponsor.
Okay. First things first.
Okay.
A man, meaning a human being.
A human being.
A race. Let's talk about that.
A race.
Is it a foot race?
Yes.
Oh, it is. That was easy.
Are you done?
Do I need to know more specifically than that? Like more specifics about the race, like whether it was a marathon or something like that?
No, I can tell you it was a marathon, but...
Okay. Wow. This is going swimmingly.
It's wonderful.
A man obtains a paid sponsorship to enter a marathon.
Yes.
He comes in first easily.
Yes.
Which angers the other marathon runners and his sponsor.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about it. Do I need to know... Let me back up. Are there... do we need to know specifics about what the event was? Like this was the Boston Marathon or something?
No, it doesn't matter which it was.
Do I need to know when specifically it happened?
No.
Okay, it's just a guy running a marathon.
Yes.
Okay. Sponsorship. I take that to mean that someone engaged to pay his expenses?
Well, they paid him to enter the race.
They paid him?
Yes, he was paid a sum of money to enter this marathon.
With some expectation? I mean, were they... I don't know how these things normally work, I suppose. If I sponsor someone to enter a marathon, do I regard that as an investment that'll pay off in some way, or I'm just doing it because I want someone to be able to run? That's not a yes or no question. Did someone do this just so he would be able to run in the race?
No. I will say no to that question.
The sponsor, is it one person?
No.
Is it an organization, would you say?
Yes.
Like a company?
No.
Okay. So it's not a person.
Right, not a person.
And so these people...
Not a person acting on behalf of a person. I mean, he may have, talked to one person specifically.
Yeah, okay. But it's a group of people, can we say that?
Sure.
Who ponied up the money to give to this guy so he could enter the marathon?
Yes.
And without that, he wouldn't have been able to run?
No, he could have entered the marathon himself.
Well, what I'm trying to get at is, did they do this just out of goodness?
No.
They were expecting some return of some kind?
Not some return of some kind.
Well, they had some reason to do it.
Yes.
Like, sometimes people will buy advertising space on stock cars, things like that.
That is true.
Does it involve something like that?
No.
And you wouldn't say it's a company, it's a group of people.
I wouldn't call it a company.
Is there wagering or betting involved?
No.
Would you say that they expected him to not lose, but not come in first?
Yes.
They expected him not to come in first.
Correct.
And that's why they were mad.
Yes.
The other racers, though, you said...
Yes.
Were also mad.
Yes.
Were they just mad because he beat them?
Not just because he beat them, no.
So there was more than that. It wasn't just that he came in first in the race. Did they feel that he had cheated?
No.
Did they feel that he'd had some unfair advantage?
No.
So they didn't feel that the win was illegitimate in any way? They thought he'd won it fair and square?
When you say they didn't feel that the win was illegitimate in any way, I will say that is not correct.
The other racers?
Yes.
The other racers thought that he had won the race unfairly?
No.
But yes, that it was illegitimate.
Yes, I will say that. I will stand by my answer on that one.
Okay. Is that because they thought he'd used some means to win the race that was, I don't even know how to ask that, unfair?
No.
They thought he'd run the whole marathon.
Yes.
And by marathon, we mean what I think
Yes.
of as... Okay.
Yes.
But they were angry because they thought it was illegitimate somehow. Because of the sponsorship? In other words, did they object somehow to the fact that he was sponsored?
No.
Would they have objected if he hadn't been sponsored?
No.
I mean, objected on the same grounds? I'd say
That's right. That's how I understood your question. But yes, they would not have objected. If the sponsorship thing hadn't have happened, they would not have objected to his winning.
Okay, so that was, apart from his beating them, that was the source of it. So everything comes back to the sponsorship then. That's odd. So you're saying he won the race and they said, well, because you're sponsored by whoever this is, this group of people, that's objectionable somehow.
Not exactly, but...
Illegitimate.
Nah, not exactly. Go back to, you asked whether the people that were sponsoring him expected him to win the race.
Okay.
That's like the most important thing you've uncovered.
You're saying, yes, they did.
No.
No, you're saying no, they didn't.
They did not.
And that's why they were upset.
Yes.
But it wasn't something like he was paid to throw a fight or something.
Correct.
He was paid to... They weren't sponsoring him with the expectation that he would contrive to lose the race. Would you say that?
I wouldn't agree to that.
They were sponsoring him with that expectation.
They were sponsoring... I'm losing my track here.
He was going to run this race,
yes,
a marathon.
Yes.
And they said, hey, we'll pay you some money. And either explicitly or not, they wanted him in exchange not to come in first.
Correct.
This is weird. Okay, and so when he did come in first,
yeah,
that's why they were upset.
Yes.
So I think I understand why everyone's upset, but I have to uncover this kind of expectation. Okay, will it help me to know specifically what the organization is? Does it have a name? Is it just a group of people?
I don't know if it has a specific name, and I don't know if you'd be able to easily guess it.
So it's a group of people.
Sure.
It might as well be one guy.
Sure.
Okay, let's say it's one guy.
Let's say it was. It could have been.
But there's no wagering, there's no betting.
Correct.
But the guy still foots the bill for this guy to enter the race.
Not foots the bill, pays him.
Pays him to enter the race.
Right.
With the was this in order to get some publicity?
No.
Pays a guy. Do I need to know more about the day of the race, like what
No.
actually happens? So he's just paying the guy with the expectation that he won't come in first.
Right.
Let's say that had happened. Let's say the guy had come in further back in the pack.
Okay.
Then no one would be angry.
That still wouldn't have met people's expectations.
They would expect him to come in last,
No, that's not what they expected either.
not to finish.
Correct.
The guy paid him to enter a marathon. This really happened?
Yes, this really happened.
Paid him to enter a marathon and not finish at all.
Yes. Yes.
Are you saying then that maybe they just paid him not to run the race? Is that different?
No, that is different. They were paying him for something specific.
Okay, so let's say he'd done what they said. He would
Yes.
have entered the race
Yes.
and started,
Yes.
but just, do I need to know more? Would just come in, just not finished at all?
Not finished at all.
Do we need to know more specifically what he would have done on that day?
You could. This might just be something that you don't know, but so I might just have to give it to you. You've made a lot of progress.
Does he feign an injury or
No,
some
no.
specific
No, nothing like that.
event happens?
No.
He just doesn't finish.
He's not supposed to finish.
Okay, let's say he doesn't finish and someone asks him why, what happened. Was he
Right.
expected to give some specific explanation?
Sure.
And that's what the guy was paying for.
Yeah.
So he says,
No, he wasn't paying him to give a specific explanation, but he was being paid and he could say the reason.
would that have been true?
Yeah.
Oh, it would have?
Yeah,
I thought you were saying like he was
No.
feigning some...
No. He wasn't feigning anything.
But so he managed to succeed.
This was all legitimate
in spite
and
of all
above
this.
board, and it wasn't that he managed to succeed. He was supposed to drop out of the race.
I see what you're saying. So I just need to figure out what that is.
Yeah, if you can.
Does that have something to do with his equipment, like his shoes or something?
No. He's just supposed to drop out of the race.
That's all.
Yes.
And then...
Why would somebody be paid to do that? Why would somebody be paid to not finish a race?
So that someone else can win?
No.
So that he won't win. Is he... Do
No.
I need to know, is he some specific famous marathoner
No.
whose people didn't want to win? I keep
No.
coming back to this betting idea.
Yes, but there's nothing to do with that at all.
Why would you pay someone not to win a marathon?
Well, to enter it but not finish.
But there's nothing specific about what would hold him back?
Well,
And
there is,
it's
sort
not,
of.
It's not so someone else...
Right. No, I think you're kind of struggling, but it's basically he was hired to run as a pace setter or rabbit for the race, but he's supposed to run it for half the race and then drop out, which he didn't do. And he ended up winning the race, which he wasn't supposed to.
And that really happened.
And that really happened. Apparently, Tommy, who sent in the puzzle, explains, this is based on a true story. In 1994, Paul Pilkington was paid $3,000 to enter the LA Marathon. But this wasn't a normal sponsorship because Paul was actually being paid by the organizers of the LA Marathon.
I get it now.
Paul Pilkington was hired to run as a pace setter or rabbit for the race. Many race organizers bring in rabbits to run at a certain race and ensure race times that are decent and comparable to other races. What makes Pilkington's win unusual is that rabbits are paid to set the pace and then drop out at about the halfway mark.
I see.
In this instance, Pilkington was so far ahead of the others, he decided to go ahead and finish the race. The racer in second place was so far behind that he couldn't see Pilkington and incorrectly assumed that he had dropped out. When second place crossed the finish line, he actually thought he had finished first, but was surprised there was no fanfare. He claimed he had slowed his pace since he knew Pilkington was supposed to drop out and was upset that the prize was not his. While the organizers were initially irritated at Pilkington for finishing, the subsequent press it generated for the LA Marathon was huge, and they decided it was good for business, even going so far as defending Pilkington by saying he was never contractually obligated to drop out.
That's good.
Yeah.
That all makes sense now in hindsight.
It was just all pretty dramatic because apparently the second place winner was really upset about the whole thing because, I mean, like Tommy explained, he thought he had won. I mean, he really thought he had won. He had even gone so far as to choose the color of the new car he thought he was going to win for winning the race. So he was really mad. And according to the LA Times article, the other contestants and the second place winner argued that they had been specifically told that Pilkington would be dropping out, while race coordinators in Pilkington disputed that anybody had ever specifically said that, and it really got very heated. The LA Times called it one of the more bizarre post-race chapters in the Los Angeles Marathon's history.
It certainly sounds that way.
So thank you, Tommy. That was really interesting. And if anybody else has a puzzle they'd like to send in for us to use, you can send it to us at podcast@futilitycloset.com.